The title is not exactly poetry, but then the tabletop I made is not exactly a work of art either. And I'm going to really try to edit carefully because as I'm looking at the footage that I got, as I'm getting ready to do some, put it all together, seems like it's probably a little too long, longer than what this project deserves. But I really did have a lot of fun doing it. And what I conceptualized actually came together fairly well, as I hope I'll be able to show. Let me be careful to say here up front that I'm really, really grateful to those who have added me to their subscription list here recently. As of today, I am at 493. And the thought of breaking the 500 barrier is amazing to me. But before that happens, if it does, it's amazing to me to be here. Thanks very much for people who are taking any time to watch, any time to comment, any time to hit the like button, maybe even share it. Really appreciate it and look forward to anybody that wants to drop a comment so that we can interact a bit. And I am curious what you think about what I've made and if there's anything similar that you might have made and how that turned out compared to what you visualized to begin with. I got to work with some pallet wood that I had for quite a while and was looking for a useful project to make. And so I think that worked out. And something I got to do for my regular day job place. And it was kind of a little extra thing on the side. And it was good practice and overall a good experience. There may be a couple of tweaks left to do. And if you have thoughts about that, again, I'd look forward to your comments. Anyway, I said I was going to keep it short, right? Let's see how that editing goes. Thanks for watching. I'm partway through this process of using some salvage pallet lumber, hopefully for a tabletop at work. The standard folding table top that I'm wanting to replace is 60 by 30, and so I'm already got one side cut, and I think I'm getting a straight line going here. And I've got several of these cut on both sides, and I think I'm going to run them through the planer as well. And then I'm going to see if I can't turn them into a tabletop. And not going to be anything fancy because the one at work is just totally falling apart. And if anything, this will be a big improvement if I can, make it work. And I'll probably take a router and round off the edges and stuff like that after I see if I can get it in place. More video on that later, I hope. Rather than show time-lapse planer work again, I'm going to show kind of a before planing and after. And this is the really rough side. Let's see if I can show this. Really rough side of the wood. The top, I'm just going to try to clean it with, it's got some grime and maybe some grease and stuff on it. Here is the before. Let's run them through and see if we can smooth them out. This will still probably be the bottom of the table, so it doesn't matter that much, but I just want to see if I can improve it. And here is the after. Made a lot of shavings. Now, play along with me here. This board is, I can cut it exactly in half, and it will be just about right as a cross piece underneath across here to line up these boards for the table. I may do a bottom edge as well at the ends once I get those cut to length if it gets wonky at all. But it's not going to be fancy. It's probably going to be covered in duct tape and cardboard as a top, so it doesn't have to be fancy, but it will probably be more solid than the crazy one we have right now that I will try to get some shots of too. Okay, so yes, made lots of shavings, and I'm not sure how my table saw cutting was, but at least the way it's sitting here, they do joint fairly well. And they, again, it doesn't have to be great or perfect, but just something that we can rest some chemical bags and some other things on as we're mixing for the daily routes. All right, might get to work on this in the shop tomorrow. We'll see. Here is the table that has seen better days. And for a while I thought that the metal frame was bent, so we just needed to junk it. But then I found out that really it's just been, the screws have popped out from the junk fiber wood, and so I think it will go down flat again. And I'm going to see if I can replace this top. Okay, this is the idea here, and I've got plenty that I can cut off the ends. We won't have the nail holes on the ends because it's extra long. It actually milled up fairly well. It doesn't have to be perfect, so I'm not even going to glue it, I don't think. But we'll be able to cut right on that knot hole and still have the 30 inches, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to double check the measurement, but I don't have to cut it off, but I could, and it would probably look better. Probably going to 45 the corners. And then here's the attachment plan. Approximately these boards across, and then I'm almost certainly going to do a small, like half of that width across whatever end I end up cutting off. And these boards will go like right inside where the mount, the adjustment or setup mount is. And I'm just going to take all these little screws out all the way around and basically put them in the corresponding positions over here. And potentially I could actually use the old tabletop, lay it over and drill down through, but I don't think I'm going to have to get that specific. Looks like I need to take that board and cut it. There may be one more that I can cut just a little bit, but then I do need to get the pieces for the ends. I forgot to bring those from the workshop. But anyway, this is the tabletop idea, and I may get to work on this some more today and then maybe finish it up tomorrow, hopefully. Appreciate any thoughts you have. I don't know if you watch Jesper Makes videos, but if you do, you might be able to tell that I'm doing my very poor imitation of a beautiful, like, outdoor table that he made. Did a Shishugibon burn coating on it and a beautiful beeswax finish that of his own recipe. That will not be this, but I'm thinking of that table the whole time I'm working on this, because it's kind of where I got the idea. Oh, I could kind of do something like that. Let's see how it turns out. The screws are out and bagged for future use. And I was thinking about not using the MDF or whatever that is as a pattern to just drill holes through. Now I am kind of thinking about it because I'd like to get it in exactly the right place. Okay, either that or I will go just off of the metal band as the start and then kind of figure it from there. But I'm going to lay it out here. Project approval has been given. And I set the frames down. Well, I used the old table. Actually, I used the old table as a template and laid it down top side to the back side in order to get the screw holes in place. And it appears that it was actually pretty straight. I didn't measure it too carefully, but it looks like it's coming out pretty straight on the boards. This gap is potentially an issue, but I'm going to get everything screwed down with the frame support and put the legs on, and then see about putting the cross boards on. And then the idea will be to put an under trim across the bottom edge that I can then use a square or something to run a straight line across to clean it all up on both ends, so that there can't be this much overhang because of the kind of weight that ends up going on this. But yeah, the boss seemed to think it looked all right, so we're going to get the framing finished up on the bottom, and I'll try to get the legs on so I can get it out of the way, and then try to finish it early next week. It's been fun, and I'm glad he liked it. Well, that clamp was definitely holding that together, so it won't be a problem when I put a crossing plate across the top. And it's together very quick and dirty. I mean, I didn't spend any time cleaning up these legs or any of the framing. That's not the idea here. We're just trying to make something useful in the shop. So the screws are in there, and now it will be time to find some pieces to run across there. I've got the cross pieces for the inside. I may be able to get those on before I'm done today. Not perfect, also not yet completed, but I think it's going to be usable. And I think I can draw this together well enough with a cross piece underneath that I'll fashion next week. Looks like we're going to maybe start towards the end of next week. I'm almost 2 weeks early to get started with the full season. So some of the debt end street projects are going to be cramped by the schedule of the day job, but that's okay. I am grateful, blessed and grateful for the income and the opportunity to serve, and lots of opportunities to learn and improve my skills in lots of areas, including, surprisingly, a little bit of woodworking here at the shop. Thanks for watching. All right, this may be kind of the finish up phase here. I went and got some more scrap wood from my pile, and I didn't have a sander with me. I'm having transmission troubles, so my truck did not make it here today. Thank you, Cousin Carol, for delivering me actually a couple minutes early. But what I'm doing here is putting end pieces on after clamping the gap together and trying to even it up. There's one board was kind of sticking up, and I'm putting a lot of screws in from the back side. I may put one on each board through the top side if I think that's going to help even it up. But this will all be cleaned and going to 45 it, I think. Ooh, that one's going to be in the way. I may have to redo that. But anyway, I'm going to do that on both ends. This end is going to be about that wide after the bracket. I'm going to put about another board's width there and then clean that off. Okay, so still going, putting in some wood screws that just happened to find in a bin. What they're doing in the metal shop here in the garage, I do not know, but here they are. I should have done a better job of getting some more video of doing this, but I didn't have a real good camera setup. Went ahead and got the corners a bit, and I do think I'll bring the router if I throw it in the truck one day and bring it so that I can just put a chamfer round off on the edge. Probably be good. Maybe help us avoid some splinters too. But really what it comes down to is we throw cardboard over it and we get these off the pallet. So we got a big stack of them and just kind of try and keep the chemicals get into the cardboard, and then we just throw that out and use another one. But there is a table for the shop, and I had to do some little finagling here underneath, put a couple of extra boards underneath to get to mostly even out, but that's all hidden. So Why did I even bring it up, right? There it is. Another little shop project right next to the other shop project I did last year and then fixed up again over the winter is this table for the 50-pound bags of fertilizer that we use. It's kind of ad hoc, but I'm actually getting paid to make stuff with wood at the place where I work. So this week, I'm a pro. I love it. Blessed and grateful. Thanks for watching.